Today, we are going to talk about the tools that are used in networking. And if you are already a network technician, then you are already going to be familiar with these tools that I discuss. Now, if you are going to be a network technician, then a lot of times you are going to be creating your own network cables. So, after you have cut the length of the cable you need, the next step is to move the plastic shield on the end of the cable, and this is done by using a tool called cable stripper. So the cable is inserted into the cable stripper, and then with a squeeze, twist and a pull, the outer plastic shield is removed. So after the shield has been removed, the next step is to arrange the wires in the correct orders and then crimp a connector such as RJ45 to a cable, and this is done by using a wire crimper. A wire crimper crimps connected to twisted pair cables. So after you have inserted the wire into the RJ45 connector, you just place it into the crimper, give it a squeeze, and then the cable is done. Now after you have cut the cable, arrange the wires and removed the plastic shielding and crimped RJ45 connector to the ends, the next thing to do is to test the cable. And this is done by using our next tool, which is cable tester. A cable tester is used to verify continuity and if the wires are arranged correctly. So you would just connect both ends of the cable into the tester, and then it will cycle through all the pins in the cable to make sure that the cable is properly wired and connected. And our next tool is tone generator. Now a tone generator is a tool that is used for tracing cables from one end to the another end. Then comes the another tool that is used to test cable is called a time domain reflectometer. A TDR is a piece of electronic equipment that is used to test cables such as twisted pair and coaxial cable. And this is done by transmitting a signal through the cable, and then the signal is reflected back to the TDR. The TDR then analyzes the reflection signal, and from there it's able to pinpoint if there are any problem. And these problems could be connectors, loose connectors, shorts, crimps, bends, and so on. There is also an optical time domain reflectometer, and this does the same thing as a TDR, but this is used on fiber optic cables. And because fiber optic cables uses light to transmit data, and OTDR transmitter lights through the cable, instead of transmitting a signal, the light that is transmitted and reflected back is used to detect any problems with the cable. Now another tool that is used to test fiber optic cable is called light meter. Now a light meter is a simpler tool than an OTDR. So while a OTDR does more sophisticated test, a light meter just measures how much light is going through the fiber optic cable. So you would have a light source device at one end, and then it will send light through the cable to the other end, where a light meter will measure how much of the light is coming through. Now there is also an RJ45 Ethernet loopback adapter. A loopback adapter is a handy little tool that is used to perform a loopback test to see if there are any problems with the network ports or connections issues, and it does this by performing a loopback test. Now a lot of telephone technicians will carry a piece of equipment called butt set. A butt set is a device that resembles a telephone, and it's used to test the monitor telephone lines. The technician will hook up the device and its name impulse but into a line to hear a conversation to determine if there are any problem. These problems include noise or something simple like detecting if there is a dial tone. A punch down tool is a tool that resembles a screwdriver, and this is simply used to connect or punch wires into a punch down block. A punch down block is used with a telephone equipment where wires are installed. These blocks makes it easy to connect wires because you don't have to strip and outer shielded off the cable. First the wire are just inserted using a punch down tool and then they are punched down into the block. And as the wires are punched down, the punch down tool will automatically cut off any excess wire. And finally, there is a multimeter. Now, a multimeter is a device that is used to test electrical circuits. It's a popular tool that is used for many different trades, including networking. If it can measure voltage in network devices, it can check for voltage in power outlets and can also check for continuity in network cables, and multimeters come in both analog and digital version.